Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Falandra. My channel is Gemz by Falandra. If you don't know by now, I'm a jewelry designer. I also do DIYs, and I also give advice for education for parents and students. This video was prompted when I was watching the news last night. It was I was too through when I saw this clip. I'm going to show it to you, but just let me show you the video first, and then I'm going to come back and tell you how you can get around that if you're facing something like that with your kid or at your child's school. So I'm going to give you a little advice to see if something like that is going on at your kid's school, and if it is, what you can do to get around it. Okay, so stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. I want you to watch the video.
Getting to know that this is all kind of being swept under the rug.
They are called seclusion rooms, isolation rooms, or quiet rooms found in hundreds of schools around the state. And now, some parents and child advocates want them banned, following a Chicago Tribune and ProPublica investigation showing how they have been used and abused.
Dane Placco reports on action taken by the State Board of Education. My mind immediately went to those old school psychiatric wards, that, isolation rooms that you would see in movies.
Kayla Sigmeyer's 7-year-old son Carson is autistic. She refused to allow his Crystal Lake Elementary School to place Carson in what they called the Blue Room, a small padded isolation room like this one, used to isolate students who become aggressive or potentially harmful to themselves or other students.
I started getting curious about how often is this actually happening in my district.
After initially rejecting her request, District 47 eventually disclosed it used the rooms hundreds of times a year.
I just couldn't believe that our school was doing this and was lying about it.
At today's meeting of the Illinois State Board of Education, State Superintendent Carmen Ayala outlined new rules on how those seclusion or timeout rooms can be used. Now, an adult must be in the room, and the door cannot be locked. They can't be used for punishment, and schools can't use physical restraints. They could impair breathing or speaking.
The practices of timeout and physical restraint have been misused and overused to a shocking extent.
But Carson's child psychologist says the state needs to go further and ban the rooms altogether and focus on what's causing the behavior in the first place.
If a seclusion room is in a school, it's going to be used, and it's going to be abused, frankly. What we need to do is equip teachers to understand what gets to that point in the first place.
Dane Placco, Fox 32 News.
Okay, now that you've seen the video, these are secluded rooms, isolated rooms with all walls padded, like it's some kind of mental institute where the person would, if it's a person that with behavioral problems and they're violent with their behavioral issues, they will have them like in a straitjacket, and they will have the rooms padded, the walls padded. So that's what these secluded rooms for. And these are empty classrooms that they're using, that they're not using for teaching, that they're not using for teaching, that they're not using for, a regular classroom. So this is what they're using the empty classrooms for, to isolate children that has behavior disorders, or students that have ADHD, autistic children, that's what they're using these rooms for. So if you have a student and your child has an IEP, this is grounds for a lawsuit, because there is no way, shape, or form that it's going to be listed in that IEP where you're going to take this kid, this autistic kid, whether they have ADHD or some kind of behavior disorder, and put them in an isolated padded room. That is not going to be within your kid's IEP. Okay, so yes, this is grounds for a lawsuit. If you're in this situation, or you know somebody that is in this situation and they have an IEP. Okay, this is bullying. This is a crime, because you're holding somebody against their will, isolating them, putting them in this isolated, secluded room. This is also bullying, because if I'm going to be a bully, then I want to victimize my victim. I want to dominate my victim. I want to isolate and seclude my victim so I can have the upper hand to do what I want to do to my victim if I'm going to be a bully to somebody. And that is just what this is. It is a crime, and it's a form of bullying, just in a different way. Okay, also, when you're faced with something like this, it is not going to be where let me see. It's not going to be where the school is going to feel like they're doing something wrong. Okay, so when you do find out that this is being done in your kid's school, or somebody you may know, you need to call the police. You need to hurry up and call the police. You need to hurry up and get you a lawyer. You need to hurry up, because this is a crime. You don't need to, once you have reported it to the school that this is what's going on, and this is what your kid has told you what was going on, you don't need to wait back for a reply from the school, because they are over there, they're on their end trying to figure out how they're going to get their ass out of the mess. And you don't want to wait and give them time to figure out how they're going to squirm and wiggle their way out of a situation like that. So you on this end, and you want to go forth, and you want to get the legal help. You want to do a lawsuit quickly as possible, and you want to make it known that to everybody that this school is doing this. On the video, it said that it was. I think it said it was happening in Illinois, but if it's happening in Illinois, you know it's happening in other cities and states, especially if it's a public school. I had did a video before about getting involved in your kid's school, and I will link it below in the description box, so you can check that out as well. Okay, if you're to know what is going on in your kid's school, you will want to try to get involved, whether it's once a week, twice a week, whatever. Let's see. You want to know what's going on. If it's a public school, then more than likely that school receives Title I funds. Okay. You can find out if that school received Title I funds at your school district office. And from there, that school should have something like a LSC, which is a local school council, and they should have something like a parent advisory council as well. And if that school has that, then especially if the school has a LSC, which is a local school council, the local school council has the authority to do a walkthrough in these schools to see what each room is being utilized for. And these secluded, isolated rooms like this is not what is supposed to be going on. Just like they want, you know, the police to be trained on how to handle, you know, autistic kids or autistic people with behavior disorders, and everything, you know, you want the teacher to be trained with that as well, especially if it's a teacher that's teaching a special ed classroom or you know, a special ed classroom that has autistic kids. He or she definitely should be trained on how to handle an autistic kid. You know, it's no excuses. So yes, let me see what else I need to cover in this video. Let me see. Let me look at my notes, because I had wrote this down. Okay, yes, and talk to your kid. I mean, you know how to talk to your kid. You have to make it where they especially they feel like it's okay to come to you and tell you, you know, what's going on, stuff like this. So, you know, take this video, sit down with your kid and show them, share it with them, talk to them, let them know that it's okay for them to come to you and tell you what's going on in that school. You need to know. Every parent has the right to know, whether it's a public school or private school. Okay? So please thumbs up this video. Please support this video. This needs to go viral. It needs to circulate. This is very important, because I know people don't want their kid in this room and they're autistic or have a behavior issue that they cannot control. This is not right. It's a crime, and it's a form of bullying. So just please thumbs up this video, share it with your friends and family, sit down and share it with your kid, talk to them, and show them this video. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts on this. And I would gladly get back to you and answer your questions if you have any questions. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.